All right, guys, welcome back. So we finally made it inside Chichen Itza. Just so you know, there's a charge for a ticket and also for taxes. Just like the two separate lines you have to pay, which is pretty silly, but they're right next to each other. Totals about $35 USD per person if you are a foreigner. And if you have a camera like a GoPro, which we did, is an extra 50 pesos for that charge as well. And I tried to sneak my camera in without them seeing it, but they check at a second checkpoint and then they make you go and pay it separately at a different windows. So something to kind of keep in mind if you plan on bringing a GoPro or any sort of camera. They don't allow like any big photography camera work or like any tripods, drones, things like that. Only like smaller cameras is allowed in. So one thing to note, parking is also about 110 pesos. So it's about $7 or just under $7, so not too bad. So now we're making our way in. Let's see what we're coming up against first. Oh, it's pretty nice. Huge. I know a few years ago they used to let you to actually walk up it, but I guess to protect it, people also died falling down, I've heard in the past. They've kind of limited that now, and now you can't do that. They have ropes all around it, all the pyramids and all the architecture here so that no one can touch it or walk on it or anything like that. But yeah, check it out, pretty impressive. What do you think?
Amazing.
Huh? Amazing? You think it's better than Egypt? The pyramids in Egypt?
Egypt is the best. In my mind.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot bigger, but still very beautiful. All right, so just checking out the other side of the temple here, or the pyramid, sorry. And this is where, when the sun hits a certain way, you can kind of see like the serpent along the side of the stairs. They made this and it's perfectly aligned with the sun to make this serpent shape. It's just really amazing like how they were able to build these and move these stones with primitive technology. You know, still to this day, they can't figure this out. Here in Egypt, I visited Tikal in Guatemala a few years back. I mean, it's just unbelievable, like in the middle of the jungle. And still standing thousands of years later. Let's see, I'm up a little bit closer, let's check it out. Beautiful. Let's see what else we have over here in the shade. The shade feels good because it's already like burning up hot here already, even though it's only, what, 8:44 in the morning. Yeah, we wanted to get here as soon as it opened just so that we can kind of beat the crowd, but also kind of beat the heat because I heard it gets really hot very quick. So we plan on spending maybe like an hour or so here, maybe hit a cenote that's close by, and then head back to Cancun. Took us about 2 hours and 10 minutes, even though the map on Google Maps it showed about 2 hours and 45 minutes. But we took a toll road. The toll road was completely empty. I mean, we did like 140 kilometers all the way here. So it cut down 30 plus minutes or so. So we plan on taking the same road back, and hopefully we can get back just as quick as we came. That'll definitely save us a lot of time. The toll cost us about $30. You have to pay 2 separate tolls. So $60 round trip roughly. If you want to go and drive without paying the tolls, it's an extra 35, 40-minute drive. For me, it just wasn't worth it. Time is everything. So I figured to save 30, 40 minutes, it's worth just driving here and paying the tolls just so we can get here as quick as possible. And one thing we didn't know either is that it's a time change. Once you cross over from Cancun and you're heading over this way, the time goes back an hour. So we didn't realize that. So we actually came here half an hour earlier than we thought we were going to because of that. We planned on getting here like 8:30 and we got here like 7:30. So it's very interesting. I just noticed as we were kind of coming, walking around the Castillo, that the backside is not as well preserved. You can kind of see the stairs are not in great shape as the other 2 sides that we saw in the beginning. Yeah, it's like night and day. The damage and the erosion on this left side here is a lot more than the right side and the other 2 sides. So I'm not sure if there's like any plans to like do any sort of like restoration or anything like that, but it is kind of cool to kind of see it like in its more like natural state. And we opted not to get a guide because we don't like to kind of be held to like any sort of like time or anything. And it was like an hour and a half just to have the guy kind of walk us around and give us all the history. We kind of like to explore and do things on our own first, take our own pace, and we can always read up on any information, any questions we might have on Google later. But I want to get a close-up, guys, of the actual side that's in not so great shape. Let's see, check it out. So yeah, you can see here, totally different. And if you look over to the right, it changes. See? Completely different.
Dos pinches maraganos y que sea.
Oui, je te dis. T'as juste sur un tas de 3 millions de personnes.
¿Qué quieres? ¿Qué quedamos? ¿Sin llorar? ¿Que te lleve papá? ¿Que te lleve papá? ¿Cuál es la amarilla?
And this is like the back and the side of the templos here. I think it's said to have like around 200 pillars or something like that. Not too sure. And here we are coming up to the next attraction, which is the El Caracol. It's a little further walk, maybe like 10-minute walk from the Castillo. In fairly good shape too. And you can see they're also doing like some restorations of some of the archaeological finds here as well. And here's a view from the side here. This place is definitely a lot bigger than I thought as I'm walking through it. On the map, it looks like it's kind of small, but as you kind of walk through it, it takes a while to kind of get from different points of interest. So definitely make sure you bring some water, get hydrated, and try to come as early as possible or towards the end of the day to try to beat the heat because it's really, really humid out here. Oh wow, looks like it's like vultures sitting on top of the monument there. It's like one on the left and like 1, 2, 4 on the right. Not sure if you guys can see it or not. I wonder why they're hanging around. So this building is called the Edificio de las Monjas. So it looks like it's a 3-floor building, and it says here that it hosted nuns to the Spanish conquerors. Oh wow, there's also a lizard. It's right up about 3/4 the way up the stairs. Kind of big too. You definitely feel like you're in the middle of the jungle, like being out here. I can only imagine like what it was like to actually find this when it was consumed with trees and everything. Let's see. And this is a church, La Iglesia. Just amazing artwork. The carvings on the side of these structures are amazing. So detailed and like so in depth. Okay, so we've made it to the Gran Jugo de Pelota, or Pelote. This is like the famous ball court. You can see there's like 2 rings or 2 hoops on each side, similar to basketball. And I think the story or the legend goes is that the losing team would get beheaded, or at least the captain of the team would be beheaded if they lost the game. Not sure how true that is, but I can see that. So walking a little bit closer, you can kind of see the ring. Here's like a hoop. You would have to throw the balls through. Looks extremely difficult. Not sure how big the ball was, but I had to guess, it's kind of similar in lift to a American football field. Maybe a little bit narrow than the football field, but lengthwise pretty similar, I would guess. Definitely interesting. I would love to have seen this in action, like going back in time and imagine these guys playing, especially if the losing team had to be beheaded. I mean, what a greater motivation do you have to win a game than death, right? It's pretty interesting. Check it out. You can see the whole view. It's massive. And here, the last thing on our list is the Zampati, which is kind of like the wall of skulls. If you can see, there's like some carvings of skulls with different expressions. A lot of it has eroded over time, but you can still see quite a bit of detail in a lot of this stone. And right above, you can see the El Castillo still. And right behind is where we just came from, which was the ball court. So that's pretty much going to wrap it up for us for Chichen Itza. I always get that confused. But yeah, it's gonna pretty much wrap it up for this. We were here for about, let's see, almost 2 hours. From waiting in line to getting the tickets and all that stuff and walking around the whole site. You could definitely, if you want to take more time and like read, because they don't have too much information, but if you want to take some more time and you can kind of read through some of the stuff they have placard on the ground here, but like I said, it's not that much. I think it's because they really want to incentivize people to hire a guide to kind of walk you through, which takes about an hour and a half. And then you can walk through by yourself once you're done if you want, for as long as you want. I believe they close at 5 or 6 p.m., I believe 5. So get here early, make a day out of it. It's actually a pretty cool town and neighborhood just around this area as well that we kind of drove through coming from Cancun. Looks very local, like a lot of good food, shops, things like that. So we might kind of stop and take a look on the way out of here. But yeah, it wraps it up for this video. Thanks.